Hey friends, it's Dennis at 3D Mini Magic. This is should be the first episode where I kind of talk about my journey through the land of 3D printing. I had heard of 3D printing years ago. It's been around for a while, obviously, and I got into it through a friend of mine who was in a gaming group, Dungeons and Dragons gaming group. He had a 3D printer and was printing miniatures that, he got off Fangs, Cult 3D, the usual sites. I thought, wow, that's really cool. And I had also, maybe like 10 years ago, I started to play around, not in a very serious way, with 3D art using, first Blender, then ZBrush to create my own designs. And, I saw what he could do with his printer, which was just a little commercial printer. And I realized that on Etsy, a lot of people had 3D printers and they were selling miniatures online. And I thought, maybe I could take some of my designs and I could, first, of course, I could put the STL files up on Cult 3D and Fangs and see if people were interested. And then I thought, if I had a 3D printer, I could print those out and I could sell them on Etsy. So I started down that path. And it's of course, it's very edifying when people want to buy something you created. The issue with the Etsy store is, I didn't have a lot of designs ready to sell, but I found there are places online where you can get a commercial license for other people's designs. There's sites like STLflix, I think is a big one, and I use them. There's a lot of designs. You pay a monthly fee, and you can sell printed versions of their designs. You cannot sell the STL files, but you can print out the STL files and sell those. So the first printer I had where I started to do that was the Elegoo Saturn 4 Ultra. Not the 16K that came out a little before. I got one of the first Saturn 4 Ultras. I had it pre-ordered. And mostly I got it because it had auto leveling. And, I had before that, I had an Elegoo Saturn 3. And, the thing about these printers, especially at least the consumer level printers, is when they work great, it's awesome. When they start to fail, you can drive yourself nuts trying to figure out why and to fix it. And I know it's not just me, because I've been in plenty of forums, Facebook, Reddit, asking questions, and clearly you get all sorts of people, a lot of people saying, oh, nothing's on the build plate, or it printed, but part of the item didn't print correctly, and it's not clear why. And you get, God bless the people who try to help, but look, the fact is they're not always very helpful. For a long time, everything, and it seemed like there were kind of these fads where you post something and everyone says, oh, you got to level it. Did you level it? You didn't level it right then. You're leveling wrong. And they get a little, I don't know, patronizing, because they're like, did you level it? And you're like, yeah, of course I leveled it. Well, I guess you did it wrong. I don't know why it's so hard for you. It's easy to level. Everyone has an easy time leveling. And then other people have their own recipe for leveling. They'll say, oh, don't do it the way that the manufacturer says. Like, here, you take a piece of regular paper and fold it, and you do this, you do something slightly different. There's which is kind of nonsensical, because of course the way the things are built, there's only one real way to level them. So after leveling became such a pain, and I saw, according to Elegoo, they brought out the Saturn IV, which they say is auto leveling. The pedantic among the printing community will say, no, it's auto zeroing. Fine. Auto whatever. Auto, these prints will come out, should come out fine every goddamn time. This you paid a couple $100 for this printer, the fucking thing should work. And it shouldn't be that hard. I mean, it's a consumer level printer. They're not, it's not for, engineers or, NASA scientists that, or, aeronautical engineers or whatever that you expect would know how to troubleshoot them. So what was my experience with the Saturn IV? Well, first whenever I get a new printer, I set it up according to the instructions. I've heard people, with the instruction of Saturn IV, say nothing about leveling because it's supposed to auto level. So, and I've seen people say, I got my Saturn IV and I leveled it, but now it's not working. It's like, why did you level it? It says it says not to. It doesn't say anything about leveling. It's supposed to do that on its own. I followed the instructions, and the thing worked mine at least worked like a dream. But I know, and I've heard horror stories. In fact, a very good friend of mine, in fact, who got me into this 3D printing business. So it's really all his fault. If he's watching this, you know who you are. Kidding. But like his didn't work. They had to send him a new LCD. I don't know if it was an LCD screen or there's kind of a film that goes over the LCD screen from the get-go. So I think, a lot of these, I think this is what happens. Is a lot of these consumer level printers have some quality issues. They're all made in factories in China, by subcontractors of the company that you actually buy them from. So, who knows where, different parts are probably made in different factories. And if they all work together, then Yahtzee, you're lucky. But, if they don't, usually these companies seem to be pretty good about sending you replacement parts, walking you through troubleshooting, and even sending a whole new printer. So the Saturn IV Ultra is a great printer. They're all great when they work. And this did, it worked out of the box for quite a while. At one point, I think, things wear out, obviously. And I think the build plate, got really scuffed up. And I think at one point, I think I noticed there's some resin, some cured resin got on it because which is probably my fault. I didn't clean it out completely. I try to clean it off thoroughly every time. If you know the build plate for the Saturn IV Ultra, it's a little different design from the other one. It's actually kind of hard to clean. Anyway, so I bought a new one from Elegoo, and all of a sudden prints were failing all the time. I contacted Elegoo, and they patiently walked me through doing a manual level of their printer, which is supposed to auto level. Okay. So meanwhile, I'm trying to run my Etsy shop. And at first, it was hard to get anyone to click favorite, but occasionally, after a while, people start to actually place orders. I'm fulfilling the orders with my Saturn IV. Which wasn't hard because, get, an order. The orders are sparse in the beginning. I think like a lot of businesses, you're going to start slow. So I have no problem keeping up with the orders. And then the printer prints started to fail. I'm troubleshooting with Elegoo. And this time we realized, it's the LCD screen has, it looked like, I saw like big round spots on it. It looked like, somehow resin had gotten in there and it had like screwed up the LCD screen. So I have to wait for a new LCD screen to be sent. Meanwhile, orders are piling up. I say, well, this is probably never going to work with just one printer. So I bought an Anycubic. And I'm going to finish this video, which is already like over 10 minutes. And my next video, I want to talk to you about my experience with the Anycubic. Okay, thanks so much. If you find